It's a wet road at Rockingham for round 5 of the BDRC F4 Championship. The grid, the results of race 1 with the reversal of the top 8. That puts Michael O'Brien on pole position with Dutchman Paul Celius alongside. We're set to go, 13 laps or 20 minutes, depending on which is completed first. The teams have had very little wet running all weekend, so this is a real step into the unknown as the lights go out. Keep an eye on Harry Newey from the very back as the cars slither away. Good start made by Jordan Albert in the largely black SWR car, who's through into the second spot, and then for the lead round the outside as they go through turn 1. That is really brave stuff. Michael O'Brien has the advantage on the inside as they go down to the Dean hairpin. O'Brien brakes late, he's going to try and find some traction here, tiptoe round the hairpin, and Michael O'Brien does hang on to the race lead. Now, can they all survive the Dean hairpin for the first time? Amazingly, they can. O'Brien leads, but he's got Jordan Albert looking for a way by.
As you said, this is a real trip into the unknown. It's the first wet running of the whole weekend. So they have to try and find all their new brake points, the new racing lines and apexes, all while trying to defend and attack from other cars around them.
And also keep out of trouble and try and find traction. This is Tom Jackson's view. He's up from the rear of the grid after going off early in the first race of the weekend. And Tom Jackson there, look, comes up to try and find a way past his teammates as they work their way now through the mid part of the circuit. Paul Celius started second on the grid, but he's fallen quite a long way back there in number 11. And Tom Jackson is about to make his move up on the inside as they head through Gracelands. He made that pass look pretty easy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised Celius went back quite that quick, and likewise how Tom Jackson's come through the field quite well. Just shows his experience in this car, being able to find the right line to be able to gain the positions early on.
Now he comes up to try and attack the Lannan cars. He's already sorted out Chris Meeland. There's Jack Bartholomew in the middle of all of this gaggle as well, as the cars now sprint up towards Brook, a long school straight for the first time. Rodrigo Fonseca, number 9, is the race 1 winner. 4 different winners out of 4 races thus far, and you can see them struggling for grip there at the end of the straight. Kieran Haggerty, number 79 in the Ecuria Cos car, goes through, run by Graham Brunton's team, sideways as in comes the power through turn 4 on the banking, and then over the start and finish line. Speed building now, Jake, all the while up towards turn 1 and then to the Dean hairpin. Yeah,
and as you can see, the spray is quite bad here at Rockingham. When you're behind a car, like it almost is on the motorway, if you were to have no windscreen wipers on, for example, you just can't see a thing until you're in the corner. So judging where the cars are in front is a big problem. And here at Rockingham, it's quite known for being quite slippy. And there we have, I think it's Kieran Haggerty off at turn 2 at Dean. Must have just missed his braking point just at the exact moment I was explaining how slippy Rockingham is.
And there's the evidence, Haggerty off the road then. Jackson nips up the inside of Bartholomew, takes the place away, puts them both wide. Haggerty tries to buy back into it. Goes up the inside of Jack Bartholomew, place gained, and Will Palmer in the red, white and blue livery tried to get up the inside, but there was contact and Palmer spins.
Yeah, disaster for Palmer. They looked like he just got involved in someone else's fight. And here we have the replay of Kieran Haggerty at turn 2. Yeah, just completely locked both front tyres. And as I said, Rockingham is notoriously slippy circuit in the wet conditions, and Haggerty just got caught out there.
And that's Jack Lang who's been caught out. He had a spin on the green flag lap. He spun off in the race. Harry Newey is really busy and really brave, getting stuck in up the inside there at the Tarzan hairpin. Tries to level with Akhil Rabindra in the Douglas Motorsport car. Couldn't manage to find a way past him, but he certainly got the speed. And Newey, having not started race 1 because of a broken drive shaft, desperately needs points, and he desperately needs a good result. The downside for them all here, though, Jake, is that the grid for race 3 is based on your best lap time from either race 1 or race 2. Now, race 1 was dry, race 2 wet, so therefore all the good lap times will come from the first race, but Harry Newey never started it, so he's condemned for the 3rd race because his lap time will be slow from the wet.
Yeah, even when the first 2 races are dry, the race 1 is usually quicker due to tyre degradation for race 2, but the fact that it's wet now, it's almost a slam dunk for Harry Newey and the likes of Palmer also, and Jackson, because of the race 1 instance.
And Jackson's just lost another place. Kieran Haggerty through on the way into the Dean hairpin. Jack Lang's car still stranded by the side of the road as there is Harry Newey up from the back of the grid, and he's still stuck behind Akhil Rabindra, and the safety car is deployed once more in order to safely remove Jack Lang's car. Everybody will bunch up behind. It shouldn't take long to address this drama. And as soon as the road is clear, we can go back racing once more. Marshall's hard at work. While the safety car is out, let's just catch up on other incidents. Sisa and Ngebulana getting it wrong coming out of the Dean hairpin, cars scattering all around him. He tries to get out of the way, is able to rejoin, albeit a long way back. Green flag's ready, we go racing once more. Michael O'Brien it is who leads the pack. There's his dad, Mike O'Brien, on the pit wall. Himself a very successful national racer of years past. Can Michael score a maiden F4 victory and give us 5 different winners in 5 races? He's in the box seat at the moment. He's got the best of the visibility by being the race leader, O'Brien, but the trouble is, Jake, he's always the pioneer, every lap, every corner, assessing grip levels. And here, look, people getting it wrong at Dean again.
Yeah, it's quite an easy thing to do to go wide at Dean, as we saw from Kieran Haggerty early on. But as you said, Michael O'Brien, he does have the disadvantage of being able to do everything first, but at the same time, the spray is a big advantage for him not having it, so he's in the best position everyone would want to be in the lead in this race.
Jordan Albert was one of those drivers getting it wrong at the Dean hairpin, and he's still on the back foot here. Harry Newey having an inspired drive up from the very back of the grid, carving his way into the top 6, and he's not done yet. That safety car helped Newey, didn't it? Because it allowed him to close on those cars ahead by the field bunching up.
Yeah, Newey's had great pace this race, being able to come from the back, and just having that safety car has given him an extra bit of an advantage to be able to crawl onto the back of the cars in front. Some of his karting experience must be coming into play here, using all the wet lines.
So the race leader, Michael O'Brien, leads the way. The NGR car up front. Kieran Haggerty running in second spot. Meantime, Harry Newey makes a move on the inside against Jordan Albert down at the Tarzan hairpin. There's room on the inside. Now, can he get the traction out of the corner? He can't. Jordan Albert stayed on the outside line. And in the wet, Jake, there's often more grip on the outside line.
Yeah, in the wet, you kind of want to be exactly where you wouldn't usually be in the dry. Pretty much the exact opposite. For example, braking in the middle of the road, having your apex right out to the edge of the circuit, and exiting in the middle of the circuit also to avoid getting wheel spin on the rubber line.
Well, it worked for Jordan Albert. Harry Newey is going to try it all over again. Busy season ahead of Harry. He's not just doing this, he's also doing the German-based ADAC Formula 4 Championship as he powers now through turn 1. Harry Newey in the HHC Motorsport car. Michael O'Brien, though, is still the race leader, but how far up the order can Newey get now? Deep into turn 2, the Dean hairpin goes Akhil Rabindra, almost clashes wheels with Jordan Albert, and Newey is going to try to buy into this because suddenly there are 2 squabbling ahead of him. Albert goes through, takes advantage, Newey up the inside, is it going to work? No, there's contact. He does go through, forces a way through, as there, Tom Jackson goes ahead of Kieran Haggerty, and Haggerty's got dramas.
It looks like he might have damage, that's why he went off. It looked, the car was bouncing a little bit. Very opportunistic move by Newey, but he was always going to be a bit late there. The car in front was never going to be expecting the car to be alongside him.
But he's gained 1 place with the demise of Kieran Haggerty. The Lannan twins hard at work, still squabbling amongst themselves. Haggerty is back on the road, albeit, as you rightly say, that car doesn't look 100%. There's a lot happening in this race. A lot of it's happened around that man, Jordan Albert, Alton Park Race 3 winner. But up front, it's Michael O'Brien then who leads the way. Tom Jackson's had a good run up into second spot, down to the Tarzan hairpin. Jordan Albert runs third at the moment. Harry Newey is fourth. And there, look, numbers 9 and 10, the 2 Lannan cars. Fonseca just ahead of Chris Mealin. Race winners both already this year. Mealin tries to sprint out of the corner a little bit better, but he's in the wheel tracks, he's in the spray, pulls out, has a look down towards Brook, can't do it, and he's got Rabindra closing up on him as well.
It's going to be difficult for him to make the move into that corner. His best opportunity is to get a very wide and early exit onto the back straight to overtake into turn 2 at Dean.
Will Palmer's just gained a place. Look, he's up through past Paul Celias, the Dutchman in the Chris Dittman racing car. Palmer, another of the HHC drivers. As the Lannan pair over the line, still Fonseca keeps Mealin at bay, but Akhil Rabindra in the blue and white Douglas Motorsport car there is also right with them, and he's got the run out of turn 1. Mealin has a look to the inside, but he's also got to defend. So the man in the middle there, Chris Mealin, trying to attack and defend at the same time, but Fonseca goes wide. Mealin up the inside. Rabindra tries to get past the pair of them. They just make contact, and Rabindra does go ahead of Chris Mealin.
Yeah, that little bit of contact there just upset Mealin's exit and allowed Rabindra to go through. I was just about to say that Mealin has the worst job of them 3 in that particular instance, having to attack and defend at the same time.
And he's still got to defend because here comes Will Palmer, who's getting better and better as the race goes on, and through he goes on the inside. That was a really good move.
Very opportunistic there. Mealin wouldn't have expected that one bit. Just your typical standard block pass actually from Palmer.
So Will Palmer working his way up the order. He was another man that retired in race 1, so he needs the points. Of course, he came here as the championship leader. He also had a spin, don't forget, in this race as well. So it's a pretty good salvage job. As into the last couple of corners, Michael O'Brien versus Tom Jackson. Jackson up from 16th on the grid in second place. An awesome drive that Michael O'Brien is going to score his first F4 victory. Checkered flag at the ready. Michael O'Brien makes it 5 different winners in 5 races. A delighted dad on the pit wall. Michael O'Brien is the winner. Second over the line, Tom Jackson. And Jordan Albert bags third with Harry Newey from 20th to 4th position. And there is Mike O'Brien, a very happy dad. Confirmation of the race results. It's a win for Michael O'Brien ahead of Tom Jackson with Jordan Albert third. Harry Newey, Will Palmer and Chris Mealin round out the top 6. And Michael O'Brien doing a great job in difficult conditions.
It was extremely tough. First proper time driving in the wet as well in this car in a race, which made it all the more hard for me because the other guys had experience. So to get that result was just amazing.
To get my best finish ever. I came here thinking I was going to be really bad at this track. I didn't like it. It's come away with a second in the rain. It's great.
The first couple of laps I was just guessing where the grip was, to be honest, so it was very hard to adapt every lap. So yeah, to get a podium in those conditions I'm happy with. Yeah.
A great first win then for Michael O'Brien in F4, and we caught up with him to find out what makes him tick.
Today I'm just at my family home here in Helmden, which is just 10 minutes from Silverstone race circuit. Just been having to play with my motocross bike this morning, just fixing it, getting it ready to go. When I think it was probably about 13, 14, me and my mates always used to go out on our bikes, you know, around the village, do like jumping, stuff like that. That's where really that side of my passion for the 2 wheels started, I guess. In the downhill mountain biking, I was British #1 at one point in the junior category, winning like regional races around the UK. I've lived here in Helmden pretty much all my life. I think I moved here when I was about sort of 5 years old, and I'd never really want to live anywhere else. You know, I've got all my friends here, family, so we've got a few pets, 1 dog, which is a bit old now, called James, who's a Welsh Springer Spaniel, and 2 cats as well. Yeah, I couldn't be happier here really, so it's where I see myself for a long time. My family's always been into motor racing. My dad's had a business at Silverstone and brought drivers on sort of over the years, so it's always something that's been part of the family and that I've always enjoyed. I did historic Formula Ford last year, which was my first season in motor racing. So that was my introduction into the sport, and that's what I started off with. I think my racing hero, I have a few of them really. I don't think many people know. My godfather's David Coulthard, so he's obviously been quite a help to us in getting started and everything like that. So I'd say him, and then obviously quite a common answer, probably Ayrton Senna, quite inspired by him as well. The goals for the season really are just to keep building on what we've got so far. The aim for Alton Park was to just get 3 solid points finishes, which is what we did, and then really just to keep moving up the order, see how well we do.
So Michael's had his first win in F4. Can he do the double? Find out after the break. The BDRC Formula 4 Championship is at Rockingham this weekend. Race 3 coming up shortly, and one of the drivers to watch is Chris Mealin. And as he gets ready for race 3, we caught up with Chris earlier in the week.
Today we're at the Strata Racing team, just over the road from the Silverstone circuit. At the minute I'm currently based in a small village just outside of Brackley called Ainhoe, and I moved over to England 2 years ago to try and pursue this racing dream of mine. Come from the Isle of Man with the Isle of Man TT, the motorcycle races, and also with my dad's garage, it's just been around cars all the time. I think it just grew on me over the years, and once I got the opportunity to go and try karting for the first time, I can still remember the first day like it was yesterday, and yeah, 7 years later here we are. To have a simulator just around the corner from me which I can use is extremely useful, just especially like new circuits. It's just nice to get a reference, save wasting time when you go there sort of thing, and just get down to the business. For a long-term goal, I think if you ask any young boy racing cars, they're always going to say Formula 1, and if I'm honest I will say it's going to still be mine. Realistically though, I think just to get paid as a professional in this career would just be a tick in the box for me, whether it means heading out to the States or different types of racing, or even instructing. I'm trying to get an instructing job at the minute. I think to get the first win so early on in the second race, it was certainly unexpected.